Hello my peeps, this is Kat aka Kakibot and this is Kakibot's Guidebook, and today we are taking you to Durham, which is a city that's kind of just between Newcastle and York. So if you are staying in one of these two cities for perhaps multiple nights, this is the must-see day trip. If you do have the time to have one, of course, there's a lot to see in both Newcastle and York, but considering what a small city Durham is, there is a lot to do and see here as well. And in this video we are traveling around the city and trying to find all the cool stuff to enjoy. So if you join us, maybe we will give you a little bit of inspiration. Now, of course, behind me is the world famous Durham Cathedral. Now, I would love to say that it's world famous for its population of bats or being England's largest example of Norman architecture, but honestly it is probably mostly known for being in the Harry Potter movies. So there's also that. Apart from the cathedral, we have the castle, we have a couple of museums, and of course beautiful views over this medieval city. So yeah, let's mingle with the on average about 21-year-old residents of this university heavy city and not cause too much millennial cringe. It's just inevitable.
So the reason I've always wanted to visit Durham is that whenever I travel down south by one of the LNER trains, Durham kind of winks at you with its huge cathedral and picturesque architecture as you are zooming by, just to give you the worst case of travel FOMO. Like, why am I going all the way to stinky London if I could be having a chill day over here? So before we go and explore, I will just give a shout out to the hotel we stayed at because it was actually really lovely. This is the Indigo Hotel, housed in a building which used to be occupied by the Durham University. The design of the rooms reflects this with its kind of collegey, sporty vibe. Also, the breakfast was served in a really pretty space and the choice was pretty spectacular. So I am guessing the cathedral will be the top priority for many of you visiting Durham, and it well should be. This is just such an impressive building. Like, in person it feels humongous, and most of its parts are free to enter. You can pay extra to climb the tower, but on the day we were in Durham it was actually partially closed for an event. So we are taking you to the main cathedral space and the cloisters, which are both free to access. Within the nave of the cathedral, you will find the highest bishop's throne in all of Christendom. Higher than the Pope's one, apparently, which sounds a bit cheeky to me. Another interesting fact, during the English Civil War, the cathedral was used as a prison for 2,500 Scottish prisoners of war. The Scots went through pretty much anything wooden they could find to burn and keep themselves warm, except the ornate prior's clock. Legend has it that this is because there's a thistle engraved on it, and they respected the Scottish symbol way too much to destroy it. Cloisters truly are a beautiful space, and I couldn't help myself from doing a little bit of a floaty Severus Snape impression. But even for non-Potterheads, this is just such a great spot for moody photography. You might think that the next stop would be the castle, which, you know, it would be convenient, but you actually gotta pre-book a guided tour to see it, so we took advantage of the extra time to explore the city center and get some coffee. First, we popped into Flat White Kitchen, where I mourned the fact that I wasn't hungry enough to get something from their food menu. It just looked so good. If you do ever go, please let me know in the comment section if it was as tasty as it seemed to my eyeballs. Further down is the Durham Marketplace Square, and on it you'll find the Durham Market Hall, yet another of England's old markets, which I feel Scotland doesn't do nearly as well. It's kind of a treasure trove of all sorts of strange goods and interesting finds. Myself, I bought some souvenirs here at the Bookworm bookstore and then just kind of enjoyed the odd vibe. Riverview Kitchen is a pretty large eatery right next to the river, as the name hints at, and even though Durham is by no means a busy and overwhelming city, I loved how this place was just kind of hidden away from the main streets. It was just nice being able to watch the river flow and the greenery flutter as I was enjoying my soup. As National Trust members, we like to go see all the venues that are free to access with our membership, and in Durham, this meant getting to stroll through the Crook Hall Gardens. This is a series of interlinked gardens, including a medieval hall with a small second-hand bookshop in it, and I imagine that on a sunnier, drier day, it would be absolutely fantastic to pick something up from their cafe and then have a little picnic. By the way, this is something I love about the UK in general. Even though it's not always perfect weather for having a lunch al fresco, you will always feel welcome to have one at any of the attractions with an outdoor space. It's just so thoughtful. Being a university city, Durham does have a handful of museums and galleries catering to quite a specific interest, and the Oriental Museum is one of them. This compact venue is dedicated to art and archaeology of Asia, North Africa, and is also currently showing an exhibition on the 1924 Mount Everest expedition. It's a bit out of the way, so I'd probably only recommend it to people who consider this a part of their catalogue of special interests. Okay, so I didn't really expect loving this castle tour as much as I did. I think the most important thing to know about this castle is that it is still actually used as student accommodation. So it is a living, breathing college space, very much like certain wizarding schools. I loved learning about the original history of the building, but also about how the space is used by students now. For example, the old chapel is used for yoga classes. Our guide was an actual PhD student at Durham University, which obviously only added to the sense of authenticity. She threw in a couple of ghost stories, so whether you're more into like vanilla history or the more occult side of it, I bet you will enjoy this tour. Let's end this video with an answer to one of life's biggest questions. What's for dinner? Well, this being such a student-heavy place, it felt kind of right to go for this very affordable Lebanese spot right around the corner from the castle and cathedral. For what we paid, this place felt like such a treat. Do you like Lebanese treats? Let me know in the comment section.
And that takes us to the end of our day here in Durham. Now, we have done many things, but not all the things, because between the weather and also some closures, it was just kind of hard to fit everything into one day trip. However, whenever that happens, I always say at least I have a reason to come back, and that's my silver lining, and it should be yours too. You get to come here and see some stuff I didn't spoil for you yet. You get to discover some special little nooks on your own without my help. Yesterday over on Instagram I asked you which one of the videos that I am planning and shooting in this Northeast England adventure you are the most excited about, and Durham was dead last, and I'm not sure why, because this little compact gem really should be on your radar. It's really cute here. I don't normally get super excited about castle tours, but because here the castle is also like an in-use university college, I don't know, there's something about it that got me quite excited. The tour was excellent. The cathedral is absolutely mind-blowingly large. I think that the only cathedral that made me feel this way in the past was the Sagrada Familia. Obviously a very different style, I will admit that, but the sense of scale is very similar. One last thing, if you like this content, don't forget you can support me over on Patreon. This is the address, and every month you will get one free extra bonus video. And if you're wow, that was not satisfying. Okay, that is truly it for me. Day in Durham over. I think this was a success, and I shall see you soon. See you in New York. Bye.